Welcome back to Hobby Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the things people are truly passionate about, whether that's birdwatching, marathon running, or, as is the case today, obsessing over literature. I'm Odysseus.
And I'm Penelope. And today we are talking about one of the most beloved, most debated, and I would argue most criminally underawarded authors in the entire world. We are talking about Haruki Murakami.
Criminally underawarded. She's already fired up and we haven't even started.
I cannot help it. The man deserves his flowers. We will absolutely get to that, but first, if you are new here, welcome to Hobby Talk. We are two book nerds who love nothing more than a spirited literary debate.
And today's debate is a very good one. We're covering Murakami's novels, his signature writing style, and the big question hanging over every October. Does he deserve the Nobel Prize in Literature? Let's get into it.
So, where do we even begin with Murakami? The man has written so many incredible books. Norwegian Wood, Kafka on the Shore, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, 1Q84, A Wild Sheep Chase, South of the Border, West of the Sun.
I think you have to start with Norwegian Wood, right? Because that's the book that made him genuinely internationally famous. And it's actually quite different from most of his other work. It's much more grounded, more realistic.
Yeah, it's almost like his one purely realistic novel. No talking cats, no wells leading to alternate dimensions.
No mysterious women appearing out of nowhere.
Huh. Well, there are always mysterious women in Murakami. That's essentially a law. But Norwegian Wood is this tender, melancholy story about grief and love and being young and feeling completely, utterly lost. It hit a nerve with readers in Japan when it came out in 1987. Millions of copies sold almost immediately. It was a phenomenon.
But then you have something like Kafka on the Shore, and that is quintessential Murakami unleashed.
Oh, absolutely. Fish raining from the sky? A teenage boy running away from home and possibly fulfilling an Oedipal prophecy? A 60-year-old man who can talk to cats?
Talks to cats, and it's presented completely matter-of-factly.
Completely matter-of-factly. And it somehow all makes perfect sense while you're reading it. That is the magic of his writing. And the Western influences are right there on the surface. He loves jazz. It's everywhere in his books. Characters are always listening to jazz, running jazz bars, referencing Miles Davis or John Coltrane.
I'll give him that. His prose style is unmistakable. There's always this calm, almost detached first-person narrator, usually a man in his 30s, a little emotionally withdrawn.
Cooking pasta.
Always cooking pasta, or brewing coffee, or carefully putting on a vinyl record. And yet underneath all of that domestic calm, there's this profound undercurrent of loneliness and longing that runs through everything he writes.
And that's what connects with readers on such a visceral level, I think. Even when the plot goes completely surreal, like in 1Q84, where suddenly there are two moons in the sky, you're still emotionally grounded in the characters' inner lives. You feel everything they feel. Moving on, let's talk Nobel Prize. That's why we're really here today.
Let's do it. Make your case, Penelope. You've been waiting.
Okay, so Murakami has been a perennial favorite. Every single October when the Nobel Prize in Literature is announced, his name is right at the top of the betting odds. Every single year.
Every year. And every year the committee goes in a completely different direction.
And every year I sit there refreshing the news and end up devastated. But okay, my case. Murakami has sold tens of millions of books in dozens of languages across the globe. He has introduced readers worldwide to Japanese literature and Japanese sensibility in a way that almost no other modern author has managed. His work explores universal human themes: loneliness, identity, love, loss, the desperate search for meaning. These are things every reader, regardless of where they're from or what language they speak, can genuinely connect with. And his body of work spans so many incredible decades. If I count right, 6. Hear the Wind Sing in 1979, Norwegian Wood in 1987, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle in 1994, Kafka on the Shore in 2002, Killing Commendatore in 2017, The City and Its Uncertain Walls 2023. That is a career of sustained brilliance.
It is a remarkable body of work. I genuinely won't deny that. But here's my concern. The Nobel Committee, historically, has tended to favor writers whose work is explicitly politically engaged. Writers speaking to oppression, to social justice, to political upheaval. Think of Mo Yan, Orhan Pamuk, Olga Tokarczuk, Abdul Razak Gurna.
Sure, but the Nobel has also gone to Alice Munro, who writes intimate short stories about domestic life and is not overtly political at all. And let's not forget Bob Dylan, which was a complete curveball.
Fair point on Dylan. That was genuinely a wild card. But there have also been comments from committee members suggesting Murakami's writing is too accessible, too commercial for the Nobel.
And that drives me absolutely crazy. Since when is being widely read a mark against you? Kafka on the Shore is not commercial in the sense that it's simplified or dumbed down. It is genuinely complex, genuinely layered. You need to actively participate as a reader.
I don't disagree in principle. I just think, practically speaking, the committee has shown us what they value. And Murakami's style, the introspection, the pop culture references, the jazz playlists, and pasta recipes woven into the prose, it might read as too light to them.
Too light? The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, where a man descends into a dry well to sit in total darkness and confront the deepest shadows of his own subconscious, is too light?
That's not what I said. I said it might read that way to the committee. Those are very different things.
Right, but I still believe Murakami's moment will come. He's still writing, still producing new work, and every year the conversation grows louder. I'm not giving up hope.
And if it does happen, I will genuinely be happy for him and for you because I will absolutely never hear the end of it.
You will not, but Nobel or no Nobel, let's just take a moment to appreciate what makes Murakami so special. He is a writer who makes you feel less alone. His characters are isolated, searching, a little lost in the world, and readers everywhere see themselves in that, deeply. It really is. Whether or not the Nobel Committee ever gets around to agreeing, and they should, Haruki Murakami is one of the most important and most beloved novelists of the last half-century. And that is just a fact.
On that, Penelope, we are in complete and total agreement.
And on that lovely note, that is our show for today. Thank you so much for spending your time with us here on Hobby Talk. If you have never read any Murakami, please do yourself a genuine favor. Start with Norwegian Wood or Kafka on the Shore and let us know what you think.
And if you are already a Murakami devotee, we would love to hear from you. What is your favorite book of his? Come find us and tell us everything.
Next time on Hobby Talk, we are switching gears completely. And trust me, you do not want to miss it.
A very different hobby, a very different kind of conversation. Until then, keep doing the things you love.
And keep talking about them. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Bye.
See you next time.